Hi, everyone. My name is Anika Verma, and I'm the Chief Communications Officer at the Steamboat. For those of you who don't know, we interview various students who have showcased an interest in STEAM and our leadership through exceptional means. And I'm pleased to announce our next student, Ayanna Modi. Before we get started, I would like Ayanna to introduce herself.
Hi, I'm Ayanna, and I'm a sophomore from the United States. I'm aspiring to become a computer scientist, and I have a deep interest for STEM.
All right, so can you tell us a little bit about your experiences in STEM and how your journey started?
Right. So my journey started in middle school in sixth grade when I joined the club Future Business Leaders of America, and that had many concepts related to technology and cybersecurity, which I got to explore. And ever since then, I realized that I wanted to immerse myself in the field. So I started taking leadership roles, such as becoming an FBLA officer in eighth grade, and I've been the vice president of community service for 2 years now in my high school's FBLA chapter. I'm also in a part of various STEM organizations, such as being a member of the Women in STEM club in my school, being a linguistic lead in STEM Today, being a graphic designer at STEM to Flower, being a website developer at Girls for STEM, and being a writer at the STEM blog.
Wow, you do so many things. It's so many lists. So can you start by telling us a little bit in more detail about each of these clubs and activities? So maybe start from FBLA and then talk about your Women in STEM club.
Right. So for FBLA, it's mostly a business and technology related club. And in that, I'm the vice president of community service. So I reach out to organizations that are local to our school's community so that our students can go and volunteer there. Then for women in STEM, I don't hold a leadership position yet because I have not been in the organization for that long, but I am hoping to attain an officer position next year. For STEM today, I'm the lead for my language Marathi, and in there I facilitate translating English articles into Marathi so that more people from different language backgrounds have access to STEM information.
That is really inspiring and amazing work that you're doing, and it's really amazing that you are able to be part of so many clubs and activities. So, can you tell us a little bit about this Women in STEM club? What exactly you guys do, and what kind of like disparities are you trying to solve?
Right. So for women in STEM, the main goal of the club is to promote females to join the STEM field because if you look at many careers in STEM, there are not a huge percentage of females, although it is getting better. The percentage could always increase. And so the club's purpose is basically to bring awareness and increase the participation of females in STEM.
Can you tell us about any events or activities you've hosted in any of your organizations or clubs?
Right. So in Women in STEM, we've had many workshops for middle schoolers to attend where they can explore their interests in STEM, where there are beginner level activities such as making slime, but that is still science. And so by introducing these kind of beginning level activities, we help foster and develop an interest for young students in STEM.
Yes, I think it's amazing, even starting with small things. Those are like the things that makes spark someone's interest into STEM, like a robotics kit or something that they started young. So, what sparked your interest in STEM?
What got me interested in STEM was actually my family's involvement in the field, as everyone in my family, all of the adults, are in the technology and IT field. And so growing up, I've always wanted to work with computers and coding just like them.
Can you tell us about any coding projects or technology-based projects that you've worked on?
So, as I mentioned before, I'm a website developer at Girls for STEM. So, I have coded a website for the application process and blogs that organization posts. I've also, for a competition at Code Her World, I've created an app that's a personality quiz for women to take for which STEM career they're best suited for. And the result that they get at the end also provides the percentage of people in that field that are women.
All right. I guess we can probably guess the answer to this question, but what major are you interested in, and what college or career do you want to pursue?
So I'm certainly interested in majoring in computer science, and because I live in Georgia in the United States, I'm hoping to pursue this in Georgia Tech.
All right. Yes, I've heard about that college and it's definitely a wonderful place. And I love Georgia too. I was there last summer and it's a great place to be. So, what are your personal STEM achievements and what have you done in life that makes you feel that STEM is for you?
So, for beginning with FBLA, I've participated in certain technological related events, and I have placed in state for many of those events and also in my region. And getting each of those achievements makes me more motivated to participate in more competitions for more recognition.
Yes, I think that's amazing. It's the competition and just being able to participate in something where we have a feeling of community that keeps us kind of moving forward. So, who inspires you in your STEM journey, or who are your inspirations in day-to-day life?
My biggest inspiration in both my STEM journey and my life is actually my mom because when from where she's from, she wanted to go into a computer science college when she was a growing teenager, but her parents did not want to send her too far away, so she was not able to pursue that dream. So while she did get an engineering degree, she was not able to go into computer science the way she wanted. And that always made me realize that I have so many more opportunities that I can go into computer science if I wanted to. And so seeing her story has made me even more motivated to go into computer science.
Yes, I definitely think that learning from people's struggles and being like appreciative of the opportunities we have is just like can be really inspiring and can tell us that. So, who are our community leaders that you see that are doing amazing work in the STEM field? So, outside of your family, it could be like certain businessmen in your local community or major leaders. Who do you see as inspiring, I guess, or like a leader?
So at my school, we have a cybersecurity teacher, and he is one of my biggest inspirations for STEM outside of my house because he is not only a teacher that teaches you the content, but he fully immerses you into what he is teaching, and you can tell that he's truly passionate about cybersecurity.
All right, so I assume that you talked about cybersecurity. So, what classes are you currently taking and how do they align with your STEM interests?
So I am in for For my career type classes, I'm in AP Computer Science Principles, and then I'm also in a course called Advanced Cybersecurity in my school. And both of these are pathway classes that I will be finishing both of them in 11th grade. And then as for other core classes related to STEM, I'm also in AP Physics 1 and I'm in Honors Chemistry for and AP Pre-Calc for more STEM related core classes.
So, looking into our Steamboat's broader term of STEAM and specifically narrowing into the field of arts. So, is there any field of art that you pursue? And if not, which field would you like to pursue?
Yes, so other than computer science and coding, I have always been interested in graphic design from a really young age. And so I have been pursuing this interest by being a graphic designer at an organization called STEM to Flower, which I already mentioned. And here I get to use Canva to create Instagram posts for various people who want to learn about STEM information. And even more than spreading the STEM information, I personally really enjoy designing and creating those posts.
I can definitely agree with you. My journey into the Steamboat also started from just looking at Instagram and the creative graphic designs. So I'd kind of like to go back to the classes thing that I said. So you mentioned taking multiple weighted and honors level and GTAP level classes. So how do you balance these classes and what tips do you have?
So what I do is I make sure to do homework the day I get it, unless it's a really big project that I am not able to finish in one day. I do make sure that any small homework, I do not procrastinate on it. And if possible, I even finish it at school when we have free time. And I do this because I know as soon as I get home, I have various extracurriculars to attend to. So it's best that I manage my time wisely and finish things as quickly but efficiently as I can.
So, what other extracurriculars do you do? Any sports or play an instrument or art or anything like that? I know you mentioned graphic designing, but is there anything else that you do?
Right. So other than STEM related things, for extracurriculars, I do have a black belt which I got a few years ago, and I also play the piano, which I have won numerous awards for.
I definitely love playing an instrument. I play the violins, and pianos are very helpful actually for anything we're playing. We always need an accompaniment, and I think that's amazing. So, moving from a little bit away from this track, as a student, what issues in STEM matter to you the most, and why are they important?
I feel like I may have expressed this already, but my main issue is that there are not that many females in the STEM field because this has been my personal mission for even getting some of my friends involved who don't really know which career path they want to take. I always encourage them to pursue STEM because I feel like with more women involved, there could be an even balance of certain processes that occur within the field. So I do believe that if there was more female involvement, that would be beneficial. In addition, I do think another problem is that some people who may not be the most financially stable don't have the best resources to access STEM information. And I feel like some of those people have so much potential. So spreading the resources to them is also something that I'm really passionate about.
I definitely agree. Those are like two very important issues, like economic disparities and just the gender gap overall in the workforce. And I think that is something really amazing that you're passionate about. So, do you think are the most important skills or things that you need to be able to pursue STEM?
Honestly, I don't think you need to start off with any skill as long as you have the passion and the interest to do so. Because if you have that passion and drive to involve yourself in STEM, then you can find your own extracurriculars, you can join clubs or make your own clubs. And by doing this, you can immerse yourself further in the field. Then as you progress, you could even earn certifications in certain aspects of STEM that you're interested in. But as long as you start off with an interest, I believe you can develop any kind of STEM skills that you want.
So you mentioned like joining different clubs and activities when you enter into like high school or middle school even. Can you suggest a few activities that they don't have to be the ones that you're doing, but a few activities that kids who are looking into pursuing STEM can do?
So I certainly think that it's important to join at least one of the biggest STEM related clubs that are present in a school, even if they're not that much related to STEM, as long as there's some exposure and the club is popular, because many clubs in schools are really small and they don't have that many events. But if it's a major club that has many technology or science related things, even if it's just a science club or just a math club, that's still getting exposure into STEM. And as long as the club is big and has many events, I believe that that's the most beneficial for a student.
All right. Our next question is what latest achievement or innovation in STEM has caught your attention and why?
I do like the progression of the Apple Watch and how much that technology has improved because I know Apple does make groundbreaking innovations, but personally, the fact that you can know when you're about to get a heart attack or something similar is so important because that's a piece of technology that can literally save lives. So I've truly been fascinated with the amount of progress that the Apple Watch has made and I'm curious to know how many people it might have benefited.
All right, so I know an innovation that I've heard a lot from previous interviewers has been about AI and artificial intelligence, its use. So, what is your opinion on artificial intelligence use, applications, and things like that?
So I've heard a lot of negative things about artificial intelligence, for example, of how it may replace humans or that it's decreasing productivity. But I actually believe the opposite because I believe you need to put an input to get an output because at the end of the day, you are clicking a button to get a result from AI. And so AI is actually expanding on your growth and your knowledge. So as long as it's used in the right way, I believe that AI is a really helpful tool that can be used in a variety of positive ways.
How do you see AI applied in fields of like medicine and technology?
For medicine, I believe that using AI can be faster than searching up certain cures or symptoms because oftentimes if you are going through a rare kind of disease or something like that, there may not be immediate results if you search it up on a common web browser. But I feel like searching it on AI can certainly generate faster and even more reliable results. As for technology, I believe that AI can be really beneficial if you are trying to improve a piece of code because it's not going to make the entire code for you, but it can certainly help you on a certain aspect or debugging the code if you're stuck.
Yes, I think that's definitely useful, and I think AI is supposed to just help us on our growth and our journeys forward. So I think I definitely agree with your opinion. So now my next question for you is how have you navigated challenges or setbacks in pursuing STEM, and what did you learn from those experiences?
So some of the challenges I've had in pursuing STEM started with being in middle school and seeing a lot of the guys in robotics making fun of any girls that tried to join robotics or STEM related clubs because I guess that some of those guys may have felt that they were more entitled to being in that field. And so certainly facing that kind of discrimination, even if it is a minor thing, that is really motivating because proving people wrong while pursuing your own passion and interest is like hitting two birds with one stone and achieving your goals.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that statement. I think I face that too in like my computer science classes and my math classes and things like that. It's definitely exists and there's kind of like a stigma. So what do you think can be done to, end this stigma and resolve these issues?
I believe that you can always spread awareness for trying to get more women to join in such advanced STEM or math classes. But if that doesn't work, then you as a woman yourself in such classes and organizations should own that you are a part of that class or organization and you are as entitled to be there as belonging there as some of the other maybe guys in your class and you're capable of doing the same things that they could do.
What would you say is like your favorite STEM project that you've ever done?
My favorite STEM project is actually the app that I was talking about earlier because it's probably the most advanced thing I've coded so far. I really think it helps because it's like those BuzzFeed personality quizzes that can help you determine which season you are or which candy you are. But since it's related to the STEM field, I think that that's really that's a cool thing to make. I also made my own version of a Mario game by scratch on code, and I also believe that I'm really impressed with that project because I was literally able to make a game that imagined and created in my head using my favorite childhood characters.
All right, so I know you mentioned this app and these are really amazing. So, what is an app that you hope to make in the future, like when you've learned more complex codes and more better designing and graphics? So, what is a type of app that you'd like to see?
I have not exactly thought about which app I would make, but if I had to think of one on the spot, I would try to research some app that hasn't been made yet and then try to develop something like that because the thing is, if I try to do that now, I know that I don't have the exact skill sets to develop such a complicated app, but I feel like as I progress in the computer science field, I'll certainly be able to produce almost any kind of app that I want.
All right. I know this is kind of going back a little to the earlier portion of the interview, but you mentioned being part of an organization called STEM and Flowers, and I don't think we got to go a little bit in detail about that. So can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so STEM to Flower is the organization that I'm a graphic designer in. And that organization posts Instagram posts about women in STEM, specifically historical icons that have already existed, and such as Marie Curie and Grace Hopper and other amazing female scientists and innovators. And so I help design and organize the Instagram posts on that page. And yeah, that's my contribution.
All right. So are there any other in other activities that you've done in any of these extracurricular or organizations that you're part of? So I know you mentioned having like the linguistic lead position. So how did you get there? What was your course progression to getting to that level?
Right. So for the linguistic lead position, learning languages is another one of my passions. And so I'm from the Indian subcontinent and I've learned three main languages from there, Hindi, Telugu, and Marathi. And so when I found out about STEM today and that they have various channels to translate articles from English to other languages, I thought that this was my time to shine as I began to translate the articles in three different languages. And I even got to become a linguistic lead in one in Marathi. And so I feel like that was actually combining two of my biggest passions, STEM and learning languages. And so that's how I got to that position.
All right. Is there any other like volunteer work or community service work that you've done that you're part of? You know, it doesn't have to be STEM related. Anything else that you've done?
Yeah, so since I'm the vice president of community service in my school's FBLA chapter, we've had to reach out to a variety of different places to volunteer for community service. So some of these places include food banks, some are donation centers such as Goodwill and similar things. I've also volunteered at many cultural events, and I've even volunteered in different countries, so I hope to continue volunteering like that.
If you could give one piece of advice to incoming high schoolers about just overall high school STEM, what do you say? And also another quick question to add on to this is if anybody is, facing setbacks in their journey, and how would you push them to be more resilient?
So for the first question, I would say to definitely start STEM related extracurriculars as soon as possible because competition is a real thing and that can actually be a driving motivation to progress in the STEM field because I know I wouldn't be involved in so many STEM extracurriculars if I hadn't seen other people trying to involve themselves in many things as well. So my advice would definitely be to involve yourself in many things that you can handle, as many as you can handle, but as early as possible. And as for setbacks, I would say that just keep going and get through them because I have taken STEM related courses that I have struggled with, and I know that I may not be able to succeed in every single course, but everyone has at least one subject, be it STEM or not STEM, that they're not good at. For me, it's AP Physics 1. I just don't think that I will do amazing in that class, but I've learned to accept that because I realized that if I ignore the one thing that I'm bad at, I'm able to excel much more in my other classes. And so ever since I changed that mindset, I've been constantly getting really high A's in all of my other classes, STEM and not STEM related.
I can definitely agree with you, and as from what I've heard from older kids, physics classes are very challenging for many students, and I think you're right, by we shouldn't just focus ourselves to one class, make it the end of our like journey, and think that is something like really great. So I think you mentioned that you are a sophomore. So what classes do you plan on taking in your junior year and senior year that maybe help you with your journey in like computer science or outside?
So for my junior year specifically, I plan on taking AP Calculus A, B, B, C, and I also plan on taking AP Computer Science A. These are both the next level computer science and the next level math classes from the classes that I'm in right now. And I'm going to be taking both of these courses because I'm doing extremely well in the level I'm in right now. And I just hope to continue that passion. And I'm also going to take AP chemistry, and this is because I'm really passionate about being in honors chemistry right now, and I do hope to continue to learn about that subject in depth.
If you had to specify which specific science field was your favorite, like I know you're doing physics and chemistry, maybe biology, and even which one of these three big fields is your favorite, and even within these major fields, what do you specifically like to study?
So I really like both biology and chemistry. It's really just physics that's not my cup of tea. In biology, though, I'm really passionate about genetics because I did honors biology when I was in ninth grade, but the genetics unit actually made me be excited to come to school every day because I was learning stuff that was so interesting. And even though I'm not going into any biology or medical related field, I believe that that unit truly was really exciting to me and I really liked that. And for chemistry, I just overall like every unit. I think that chemistry is a really fun subject.
I can definitely agree with that. I'm in my freshman year and we've just started our genetics unit, and it's definitely very exciting and things like that. So now I have like one question that may not be very STEM related, but I just kind of want your opinion on it. So what do you see as like challenges in within the community that come to pursuing like a education? So not like not being able to like doing well in classes, but what do you see as like barriers that stop you from achieving the things that you want to in your community?
I think that many things can serve as barriers. Sometimes it can be a person's own home, where if someone's family members or guardians may not want them to pursue a certain path that they are passionate about or that they want to explore. I feel like that itself is one of the biggest barriers that I've seen and I've seen my peers face. Another is obviously financial, because while more financial aid institutions are arising, there are still many people who struggle to get to the opportunities and places that they want to be simply because they do not have the finances to do so. So I feel like money and then a person's own home can be some of the biggest barriers.
All right, I have one kind of last question. So you mentioned that you want to go into Georgia Tech, obviously, because you want to pursue the field of computer science. And that is a quite competitive university, as from my understanding, it's not that easy to get in. So how can a student put forth like a competitive edge to get a better entrance into a college or university?
I think that while it's good to say that you need to pursue your passions and interests, it's also really important to do something different that not everyone else is doing. For me personally, that's being involved in so many STEM organizations because my school only has one STEM club, and some people are in that club, but that's most of the members, that's the only STEM thing that they're doing that I'm aware of. But on the other hand, I've involved myself in many STEM opportunities and I've been competing in STEM competitions. So competitions are actually a really good way to get recognition in a way that not everyone can. So I feel like definitely doing something that sets you apart from other people is what will probably give you a better shot at a competitive college.
All right. So before we wrap up our interview, is there anything that you'd like to share with us? Any suggestions you have for our audience or any opinions, feedbacks you'd like to give.
No, I don't have anything.
All right, then I'd like to thank Ayanna Modi for joining us this week on our student series interview project. And if you're interested in getting interviewed by our team, be sure to check out the form shared in our description. We are always looking for interested students, and we will interview anyone between the ages of 14 and 22. And we're always willing to make exceptions for grad students who are doing amazing work. And we hope to see you back here again on Monday for our next installment. Thank you.